The comment of the week goes to It's Clem. Thank you so much for your comment. I really like reading Lost comments, and if you like a shout out in a video, all you have to do is leave a comment. That could have been you. Hi everyone, and welcome. Today I'm going to be giving 5 tips for beginner artists, and in the background I'm going to be working on an alcohol marker drawing, so please enjoy that while you listen to these tips. But anyways, the first tip is to draw what you love. I feel like a lot of beginner artists kind of feel the need to jump into learning all of the fundamentals like anatomy, perspective, color theory, and all those different things, which can be a little daunting. It can be daunting for like people that have been drawing for a while, so I know it's daunting and it's a little scary for beginner artists as well. So instead, focus on drawing subject matter that you really enjoy. So that's things like fan art. You know, if you are really into, let's say, Star Wars, or I think like really popular right now is like Arcane, little things like that. You can draw fan art for different shows, different movies, different books that you like. You can also portraits. If you like animals, you can draw animals. If you have a favorite color, you can focus on drawing with that particular color. Just different things like that. Things that are maybe already connected to other interests that you have. I think it's really important to establish a love for drawing and a love for art early on. Focusing on fundamentals might kind of deter you a little. Like if you feel a little frustrated that you can't get the face right or something like that, it might deter you from continuing to learn how to draw. Tip number 2 is to try a bunch of different supplies. Early on, you may not have an idea of what supplies, like art supplies, you actually like to use. I recommend looking at a bunch of different other artists and looking at the look that they are achieving with different supplies. For example, like maybe a watercolor artist. Maybe you like the look of watercolors, so you can go and try watercolors. Maybe you like the look of markers, go try markers or digital or what have you. Or maybe you don't have an idea of what sort of supply you would like to use or what look you're going for, which is why trying a bunch of different things can be helpful. You can try watercolors, markers, gouache, pencil, digital, etc. You know, there's a bunch of different supplies out there, and some I mentioned, some that I've never used. So just try a bunch of different things, get a feel for what you like. Tip number 3 is related to the last tip, and that is to try not to spend too much money on art supplies early on. It doesn't make a lot of sense, in my opinion, to go out and buy, let's say, Copic markers. Copic markers are super expensive. At Michael's, I think they cost like $8 a marker, which is like wow, that's really expensive. And if you need like, I don't know, 36 markers, spending a pretty penny to try these things. And you might find that you actually don't like markers. And here you have a bunch of money that you've spent on a supply that you're not going to use because you don't like it. Instead, you should do some research to find some really good quality, affordable supplies. For watercolors, I recommend Prang. I just did a review on Prang watercolors. For markers, you can try Ohuhu Markers instead of Copic. In some cases, I feel like they're maybe even a little better than Copic, and they're not as expensive, which is really nice. For digital, instead of going out and getting a Wacom Cintiq or something crazy like that, or even an iPad Pro, maybe try the 9th generation iPad with the pencil. Or maybe try a more affordable graphics tablet to use on your laptop or something before you jump into spending like thousands of dollars on an expensive device that you may get it and decide you actually don't like digital works. Especially if you are following the last tip and trying a bunch of different things, it's probably best not to invest too much money in different supplies if you're not sure if you actually like them. Tip number 4 is to draw as often as you can. You don't have to be super rigid with it. When I was starting out, I would draw every day or just multiple times a week. Sometimes I would draw all day, but you can just maybe set aside 30 minutes to an hour, if that, to just draw. And what this does is it helps you get those practice hours in, and it's kind of using this kind of idea that if you're drawing more, you will learn quicker, which means you'll improve faster. It also kind of helps you build muscle memory. I feel like part of the drawing process includes muscle memory, and so it's a good idea to like practice more often so you can kind of build that muscle memory. The 5th tip is to have fun. And this kind of goes back to the first tip. I feel like if you don't actually enjoy drawing, it's going to be a lot harder for you to keep at it, and when the time comes to learn some of the fundamentals, you might not feel like it because you're like, I actually don't like drawing. It's important to actually learn to enjoy drawing, which is why I shared in the first tip that you should draw things that you actually like. I also think you shouldn't stress about how your art looks. It's going to take time for you to be able to create the quality of work that you would like, and so you should really be patient with yourself and just practice, draw as often as you can, and the rest will come with time and practice. Anyways, those are my tips. I hope they were helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Shout out to my patrons, Merriment Illustrations, Sister Donna 55, and Kelsey. Thank you so much for being my patrons. I really appreciate you and everything that you do. Wow, oh my goodness. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Here are a couple more videos that I think you would like, and I will see you next time.